was like it was vodka infused vanilla whipped cream, and I was like,
I don't know.
"No."
Maybe I'll take a look afterwards. Obviously, we're live on the show, but I just want to say thank you to you guys. I'll tell you what, Anthony, Brian and Harrington really know how to work that Christmas bonus, which is coming in a few days. I've just been very busy. Welcome to the show, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. We have Marlon Cheeto Barry joining us in about 15-20 minutes. He's got a huge fight with Corey Sandhagen going down in February. But Anthony, how was your day yesterday?
It was good. It was really good. I love Christmas and everything that comes with it. It's my favorite holiday. So, woke up and Santa brought everything that they wanted. And truthfully, I was just happy to be home. I was in Texas leading up until the day before Christmas Eve. And there's this big winter storm that's kind of going all the way across the country.
Bomb cyclone, I believe it's called.
Bomb cyclone. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, it's so cold here in Nebraska. It's like with the wind chill, it's like -21. It is so cold here. But I get up to the airport in Houston. It's like 6 a.m. Got my whole family. I drug all the kids out at 5:15 in the morning. I'm next in line to check my bags, and my phone vibrates. So I get it out and look at it. They canceled our flight.
Oh.
So then, like, the next one wasn't until 10:30. By the time we tried to get that flight, like 10:30 at night, it was full. So we stood there for like 30 minutes trying to figure out what we were going to do. And the closest they could get us was Oklahoma City. So we flew to Oklahoma City and then tried to rent a car. But everyone was renting cars. So there wasn't a car big enough to fit my family and our luggage and stuff. So we rented 2 cars. Yeah. So we rented 2 and made it back. It was a disaster.
Sounds like a rendition of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Have you ever seen that movie?
I haven't. I'm going to the movies tomorrow, though.
What are you going to watch?
Avatar.
Oh, it's meant to be good. I'll be honest. For some reason, because it's kind of cartoony, it doesn't appeal to me, but it is supposed to be amazing. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You have to watch that. Brilliant family movie. Your kids will love it. And it's about a man and a woman trying to get back for Thanksgiving. And they go on planes, trains, and automobiles, just like you did, Anthony.
Yeah.
Brian, -21 degrees Fahrenheit, you say. That is ridiculously cold. Brian, would you just look up what that is in Celsius for our Australian or European? Anyone that uses a logical system where 0 is freezing and 100 is boiling, for anyone that uses a logical system, just work that out for us, please, Brian. We do have a great show planned for us today. As I said, we've got Cheeto coming.
It's -21 Fahrenheit is -29 Celsius.
-29. Oh, God, that's
Greetings.
flipping cold, man.
It's so cold.
Oh, it's miserable. Did you know what I did yesterday after we did the presents, which was lovely? Then we had a nice breakfast. I sat out on my balcony, did a little bit of sunbathing. It was 82 degrees.
Was it really?
degrees. Yeah, 82
It was even
degrees.
cold in Texas.
Not a cloud in the sky. It was glorious. It was beautiful. But still,
I do have to mention your Christmas dinner attire.
please. What? Are you
Can
talking
I tell you
shit?
something?
I liked your shirt.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was really giving you a compliment. I dig
Well,
the
a
shirt.
lot of people have been giving shit. You know what I mean? Hold
Really?
on. Here we go.
I
Yeah,
like it.
People
Yeah.
talking crap about my boots. Talking crap about the shirt.
I like the boots. I like the shirt. I like it. You guys look wonderful. Look like
It's
you
a
had a wonderful
leather
time.
shirt. It's a leather shirt. Correct. It's.
Well, see, I don't got that kind of money, but
Oh,
I'll get the fake leather shirt.
Stop it.
Now you have to wear an undershirt under that, right?
No,
You
bro.
can't just.
If I just rip that apart with
Just-
the buttons, the chest is out. All
It's a tough
30
man.
That's all 231 pounds I got on the scales before. I was like, whoa. I mean, look at this face. It's never been so puffy. If I was to steal a Brendan Sharp joke, I would say, what is it? Been stung by wasps or bees or something in my face. So before Cheeto joins us, I saw this one. It's been doing the rounds for a little bit. I threw it to Harrington. Harrington, come on and tell us about these artificial wounds or the factories for babies. I mean, this is some shocking stuff that's going on.
Well, yeah, I mean, so the idea is to mass produce artificial insemination, right? Where you would have, like, I mean, the way I described it is it looked like something out of The Matrix, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just walls and walls of these babies. And the idea, now this is a concept that they have, where they'll be able to go in and actually gene edit things ahead of time. So you could custom pick your baby's hair color, eye color, check for any kind of gene
Intelligence level, athletic ability, all that you can totally specify and cater or pick or design basically your own child, and just show these graphics, show these images, because these images, I mean, look at
Unless you'd
that.
rather walk,
Wow.
you know, on foot.
I mean, obviously this is like an artist's impression or something, but this is just ridiculous. I mean, in the spirit of Christmas, baby Jesus was born in a manger. Are you familiar with the story of baby Jesus, Anthony?
Yeah, to a virgin.
To a virgin. I mean, that truly was a miracle. And for that, or Mary.
That's the story, and she's sticking to it.
She is sticking to it. And poor old Joseph. I mean, you know, what is he
Right.
going to do?
He's
You
just
know
out
what I
trying to make an honest living, comes back and just has a baby.
mean? His wife hasn't been putting out. He's a carpenter, right? He's worked his balls off, literally, because they're empty because he hasn't been filling his wife. Comes home, Mary's pregnant. Do you know what I mean? He did,
And gives him some cockamamie story that she didn't do anything wrong.
the Jesus, God came down, and we're joking before all you religious people have a laugh at us, but in the spirit of Jesus being born, I mean, that is just insane. Tell me how you feel about that, because I'm not comfortable with that at all.
Okay, so it depends on how you look at it. Like there is an element to like not playing with God a little bit, or you're playing Jesus, or I don't know, it feels very uncomfortable. Like it just feels like you're doing something wrong. But on the other end, there is lots of people that have lots of problems, and we've known people that have had lots of problems having children, and it's just awful to watch them want children so bad and not be able to have them. So on that side of it, I understand it. On the very funny side, sounds like a very good investment. Like, you know, as a half black man, I'd be like, I need a black one that's got a good 40-yard dash. He's like, can you test can you check his vertical?
What happens if like, you know, you pay for this athletic ability and supreme intelligence, and it comes out it's dumb as fuck, right? It can't run a 40-yard dash in an impressive time. Do you take it back? You say, hold on a minute.
Wait a minute.
This version of Harrington is fat, is out of shape, can't run quickly. You know what I mean? I don't want this child. No. My issue with it is the world's already overpopulated. I mean, it is.
Not if you ask Elon Musk. Elon Musk says that we're not reproducing fast enough.
Well, certain countries, I believe, it's gone down. But if Brian, if you look up, I mean, the rate, the population of the globe is going to almost double within a few years or something crazy like that. It's growing all the time. So we're overpopulated, and there's plenty of babies out there. And you're right, it is, because I know some people that have struggled to conceive a baby, and my thoughts and sympathies always. And of course, you know, if it help them, I'm sure they'd be very happy. But there's lots of babies out there that need adopting as well. Do you know what I mean? And just going down this path, I don't know. It just seems a little.
It feels weird.
It's a little weird.
As of 2022, it's about 0.84% a year, down from 2020, which is 1.5%. Sorry, I'm retarded.
Yeah, no, it's okay. If I ordered a Brian, it would have better pronunciation skills or something. Brian, come on, because Brian's got. Before we started the show, Anthony, you know what Brian, you know, he loves a good tinfoil hat. He believes this is the end of the world.
Well, I think this is really, really bad for the future of the classism in society. So eventually only the haves will be able to make super babies, and then we'll have super people, and then we'll have regular people who can't do super shit, and that's a clear genetic distinction between the haves and have-nots, and that's not something that we have right now that we absolutely will when this does happen.
Well, no, that's actually an interesting point, Brian, because you're right. So if that does come into play, you know what I mean? Eventually down the line, there'll be this breed of superhumans.
Well, the super babies are going to be reproducing with super babies.
And super douchebags. Do you know what I mean?
Anthony,
Right.
I don't know if you've seen Jurassic Park, but like it really does warn us of the tampering in genetics. You know what I'm saying?
Have you seen Jurassic Park?
I've seen Jurassic Park. I see.
Hell
There we
yeah.
go. We
Yeah,
got one.
We got one. But still, yeah, no, I just saw that and I just thought, it's the Matrix. If the Matrix has taught us
Aion has
anything, it's don't create baby fun. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Have you seen the Matrix?
I have.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, whatever. We're waffling on. That is a little sad.
Aion's greatest gift
But
to
what
the
was
weary
really
traveler.
sad,
Safe
is
travels.
the news of Stefan Bonner last week.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It was Christmas Eve. I said last week, a couple of days ago. Yeah, Christmas Eve. Adam Hunter, you know, the comedian, good friend. He's been on the show. He's hosted the show before, actually. Adam Hunter texted me. I think he's close with him. He said, "You're not going to believe this, Mike." He said, "We don't want it on social media or nothing, but Stefan Bonner's passed away," and I couldn't believe it. It really affected me. It did, because I think you probably saw it as well at the time. Remember, there was that video of him getting arrested at the hospital. He was trying to get opioids out of his doctor, things like that. You know, so there was warning signs there. And then I saw him at the Apex as well, sometime earlier this year, and he had a suit on, and I didn't recognize him. He was very, very skinny, very pale. He didn't look himself, didn't look healthy, you know. And I was kind of in shock. And then to see this happen, I mean, poor guy. He's got a kid that he named Boris. You know, yeah. Isn't that just awful on Christmas Eve, man?
Yeah. I had a couple interactions with Stefan, nothing super serious. We weren't obviously close or anything like that, but it makes me sad because like we're getting to the point in MMA where like, you know, we're losing some of these legends and because the sport is getting older, and that's just how those legends get older along with it. It's not like he was old, but
45.
He obviously meant a lot to the sport and to the UFC and kind of our history after that, but it's more so like I tell people all the time that this sport can change your life and make you or give you the ability to live a life that you never could have otherwise. And I think both of us are proof of that I would never be living the life I have now if it wasn't for this sport. It's the only place in society I've ever fit in. And but on the flip side of that, it can ruin and take everything from you. It really can. And it's done it to me a little bit at times in my career where you're at the highest of highs and you can be at the bottom of the barrel, you know? And I just feel like this sport probably took way more from Stefan Bonner than it gave him. And we all have been beneficiaries of what he did and what him and Forrest did. But I just have even seeing the stories that have come out about him and some of his problems with maybe some addiction because of some of his health problems and I don't want to bring it all up because I'm not here to shit on him, but
of course
I've always felt like
there's nothing wrong with bringing that up because it's not shitting on him. It's actually highlighting the struggles that he went through.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's always, even before hearing about him dying, I've just always felt like him and Forrest of just polar opposites, you know, like Forrest obviously did some of the same thing. He had more success maybe in the UFC than Stefan did, but
became champ.
Yeah, became champion. But now he's giving back to the fighters and working with the PI. He does a fantastic job there. And I just feel like the sport is giving back to him by giving him a position and to still be relevant and still continue to guide younger fighters. Whereas Stefan didn't get that opportunity. I don't know how else to say it. I just feel like us as a whole, I don't want to say us, but like MMA as a whole, the UFC, you know, as a whole, not the company, but like the sport took a lot from him and he didn't get a lot back.
Well, it's the injuries that you're talking about. Injuries, and I'm assuming surgeries you get involved or introduced to opioids are extremely addictive. I've had my struggle. I'll be honest, I've got the amount of surgeries that I've had, you know, I've got fucking no knees, you know, and that was incredible. And there was a bunch of surgeries before we decided to go with knee replacements. I got the neck surgery, my back issue. I mean, I don't turn this talking about me, but last week I went to the doctor. They were going to fry the nerve at doing an ablation, but they did a test on it and it didn't help it whatsoever. And the doctor was just mind blown. I can't believe I didn't get any temporary relief. They did want to test it first, make sure they get the right nerve, and there was no relief whatsoever. And I said, well, what's the alternative? And he said the alternative is a very, very invasive, nasty surgery on your back where the recovery is a bitch. He said, and what that means is, because it's one of the lower vertebrae, he said, if you have that surgery, in a few years, you're going to need the same surgery on the vertebrae above. And a few years after that, you're going to need the same surgery on the vertebrae above that. And it's going to keep going until you're all the way up to your fucking neck. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I don't want that. But you're right.
That's the life that a lot of us are, you know, like yours is obviously a little bit worse, but like I can understand how people can get addicted to opiates and the painkillers. I really can. Like even my last 2 surgeries, like I don't know if it's I'm getting older or I'm just not maybe I'm a bigger pussy than I used to be. I'm just not dealing with the surgery pain as well as I used to. Maybe it's just their surgeries are worse than the ones I had previous or whatever, but
well, you broke your leg. Yeah, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, I'm just not, it's just not, I'm not dealing with it as well as I used to. And so here I am, you know, you're 5 or 6 days in. Like, oh, I need a painkiller. Like, wait a second. I don't have any pain. Like, I'm kind of okay right now. And then your skin gets all scratchy and crawling and feel like shit. And like, it doesn't take long. You get addicted like that.
Oh, very, very easily. That's why I monitor them so closely when Callum's had surgery, because wrestling's a tough sport as well. He's been very unlucky. He's had a bunch of surgeries, and of course with the surgeries come the pain pills, and you know they feel good, you know, especially if you mix in a few glasses of wine with that as well. You're flying, you're having a great time, and all of a sudden you are just slowly become dependent on them. I had to throw them all away. You know, I just wanted them out of the house because I'm like, shit, we got to stop this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Cannot continue with this. So I threw him all away. But Stefan obviously had his struggles. He had his big struggles, and it's so sad to see. Do you know what really kind of annoyed me was this video from Sean Strickland yesterday. Sean's always inserts himself. He always has an opinion, and you know, for the most part, that's what we like about Sean. You know, he doesn't care. He's not pandering to anyone. He says what's on his mind, and to a certain degree, I do respect that, but I feel like he was way off the mark. Can you play that video?
So I'm going to ramble about something that might not exist. Stephen Bonner and like my Instagram feed, Google, flooded with like pictures of like people like, hey, this is me and Stephen Bonner training. We're buddies. Like we used to hang out back in the day. Like I'm going to post a picture about him and get double tap likes. But like, man, the Stephen Bonner minor was fucking nuts. He was addicted to opioids. He got out of the hospital. The gym went there during COVID. And you know me, I'm an asshole. Like I'm an asshole. I'm not gonna post pictures. I'm an asshole. But you fucking people like actually and support and all this. Like when this man was losing his shit, where were you? And I'm not saying you had to be there for him, but you weren't there for him then. Don't be there for him now, because now he doesn't need it.
So yeah, I mean, look, listen, to a certain degree, I understand his point, but it's just flat out wrong. The reality is that a lot of us are all going through struggles, pain in our personal life, and we don't share that. I mean, that's one of the reasons why mental health is such a big focus right now, because people don't talk about it, certainly men, you know, and his wasn't a mental health thing from what I understand, and what the theory would be is an addiction issue. But to come out and just show our respect, our condolences, our sadness, you know, I don't think it was upon us necessarily. What am I in the wrong for having sympathy and feeling for the guy? Just because I did see him, and you know, he's looking a mess. But what am I going to do? You know what I mean? We're all as sad as it is. We're all living our own lives. We've all got our own things to take care of on a day-to-day basis. And maybe that sounds insensitive. I'm not trying to. You know what I mean? It's only when you realize how bad the problem was in hindsight that it's like shit. But there's nothing wrong with celebrating the man's life and what he achieved and what he meant to this sport. Because if it wasn't for Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin, that final fight, you know, we might not be sitting here as, you know, a former UFC fighter and a current UFC fighter right now, because that first season was a massive reason for the growth of this sport.
Yeah, you know, I'm like you. I understand the point that he's trying to make. I think the timing is insensitive. But I mean, I think that's just Sean. I don't think that he's trying to shit on, because I actually went through the comments to read what some of the people were saying, and he even, to his credit, to Sean Strickland's credit, he tried to reiterate, like, I'm not trying to shit on the guy. I'm not saying anything bad about him. He's more talking about maybe the people that he views as just looking for likes and clicks and, oh, look at me, you know, I'm sad or whatever. I think that's what his point was, but I think the timing just wasn't great. But that's the thing, like, what if okay, say I trained with, you know, with Stefan one day at the PI or something, we took a picture, like, I wouldn't be allowed to post that picture, just like, what, I'm not allowed to be sad? You know, like, you can't be. I didn't even know Stefan Bonner, and I think it's just sad in general when someone that's so young passes away and just had the struggles that he had, and you know, again, just kind of had his whole life kind of fall apart. And you know what? Maybe some of that stuff was his fault, but that doesn't make it any less sad for me.
Hey, listen, we're all kind of responsible ultimately for our own path in life. We are masters of our own destiny.
Like you said, what are we supposed to do? Like, sometimes I'm barely able to keep it on the goddamn tracks myself. You know,
same here. Same here.
Trying to keep my own shit together, man.
And I didn't know Stefan particularly well. I would always say hi, always stop have a polite little conversation, but that was about the extent of our relationship. I didn't have his phone number or anything like that. Of course, I'm sad.
Stand and report.
You know, it really sends a message, though. I mean, look at this year. We've had Elias Theodore, Anthony Johnson, Stefan Bonner. There was Orlando Sanchez, a guy that I trained with.
Yeah, recently.
Jiu-jitsu guy. You know, I mean, that's four. I mean, there's many other people passed away this year in the public spotlight. I mean, if that doesn't, and this is kind of depressing for a Christmassy show, but if that doesn't send a message and make you realize, and I say it all the time, we only get one life. There ain't no rerun. You know, this ain't no practice run. This is it. This is it. Do you know what I mean? Make the most of it. Live your life. Take chances. Go out there. Live for today, because tomorrow is not fucking promised. I tell you that. You know, so anyway, condolences to his whole family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for the memories. You know, some amazing fights, some great performances. Of course, what he achieved with Stefan Bonner in that final fight, because that was part of the huge. It was a huge reason for the explosion of mixed martial arts right at the time in 2005, when the company was on the verge of going broke. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with paying our respects and our tributes. And right, guys, let's talk about BetterHelp real quick. Listen, you know the deal by now. They've sponsored the show for a long time. They are helping people deal with their demons, deal with addiction, temper, anger, suicidal thoughts, whatever it is, the issues in your life that are holding you back. By signing up to BetterHelp, by going to betterhelp.com/believe, they will assign you a professional therapist, a professional counselor. You'll be linked up with somebody within 48 hours. You will do it all over FaceTime or video messaging, whatever you want to call it. So no driving to the other side of town, parking, sitting in waiting rooms, going in for your first appointment. None of that awkwardness. Very convenient. Do it from your couch. Do it in the toilet. Do it wherever you want to do it. It's just on your phone. If you don't like the guy or girl, change. Very, very simply. You switch counselors whenever you want. And over 1 million people have done this and taken charge of their mental health. So we suggest you do the same. As I say, you know, we all know there's something holding us back. Talking about it will help that in a massive, massive way. Coming into this new year, let's go in as the best version of you. You know, mentally and physically. And often it's what you can't see that needs taking care of the most. What's going on between the ears, the thoughts that you can't escape from, the things that you think about when you're alone. If they're unhealthy, they need to be dealt with. They need to be sorted out by speaking to a professional counselor, and certainly in the most cost-effective way. And financial aid is available if you qualify as well. So check it out. Join the over 1 million people, as I said, and also BetterHelp are hiring new counselors in all 50 states because it's very, very useful and it's working and their business is growing. Check it out. Go to betterhelp.com/believe, betterhelp.com/believe. You're going to get 10% off your first order. Good luck with whatever it is. One more time, betterhelp.com/believe. You're going to get 10% off your first month. Shall we move on?
Yeah, probably.
It sounds really, doesn't that sound weird to say that? All right, moving on.
Yeah, moving on to some other shit.
Enough of that crap right now. Marlon Chito Vera this 60 seconds late by my count.
Cheeto.
Cheeto. We'll go to number 6, Harrington, real quick. This will be a fun little segment for a minute. If you want there, Harrington.
Yes, sir.
Number 6.
Okay. So,
Okay.
I don't know the right way to intro this. I guess maybe, Michael, you have a ton of hair. Anthony, not so much. So you wouldn't have to worry about this so much. But I am wondering, right? Have you
Tread
ever
lightly, my friend.
have you ever dealt with this growing up in
Nice to
martial
meet
arts? Brian, you want to roll tape?
Of
I
course,
kind of like
you
it.
can break, but if you do, here is the punishment.
Never leave your hair the same.
Does that stuff hurt?
I mean, if you do it hard enough. It used to hurt when my dad used to do it. Anyway, we get the idea. He's whipping them for the hair being
Stand
too
and
short.
report.
What do you think of that, Anthony?
It's too long.
Sorry,
Yeah.
too long. My bad.
Well, there's this hair plug company that's in a cowboy just went there too and got his receding hairline or whatever fixed. But I'm thinking about doing it unless I don't know. I
Hold on.
want my hair back.
You're gonna go in for the hair plugs?
Dude, I might. It's in like Bulgaria or something.
Oh, I was just there. I know the place
Yeah.
well. Speaking of a guy that has many frequent different hairstyles.
A man with great hair. Here you go.
My
There
guy.
he is. A man with great hair. Here you go. It is Barra, known as Cheeto. What's going on, Cheeto?
Nothing much. Just same. Eating good, training hard, and can't wait. Couple more weeks to fucking kick some ass.
There we go.
Hey, so yesterday, Anthony, we went out for dinner last night. We're driving down the motorway, the freeway, and I get a FaceTime. I think it was from Perillo.
It was from
you?
me.
Oh, it was
I
from...
pick up.
What do you mean? I picked up straight away.
You pick up his call. You didn't pick up my call. We're next to each other. So that says a lot about our.
Oh.
It's
No.
okay.
I was driving on the freeway, bro.
Bro, you pick up his quick. Mine went fully. Every single ring went through. But it's okay. Next time
No.
you call, I'm gonna just be like this.
No, that wasn't the case at all. I'm driving on the freeway. You call, right? I thought I can't pick up, and then Perillo calls, and I'm like, well, clearly they're together because they're quite the two little. There's an expression in England, we call them bum chums. You're a couple of little bum chums. I'm like, they're both FaceTiming me. Maybe there's an issue. Maybe they need me to protect them. They need Big Banky B to save the day. So I answer, Anthony, and there's Rockhold, Cheeto, Perillo on Christmas Day in what looked to be a garage. Was it a garage?
We're in Peru's garage just talking shit. Just talking.
Perillo was hammered. He could hardly string his sentence together. He had a pair of headphones on. You guys were having fun, were you? Merry Christmas, mate.
Merry Christmas, brother. Yeah, I finished training and I went straight to his house. And we just sit down in the garage for a couple hours and just talk shit.
Nice. How was your day?
It was good. Training today. Kids happy for Christmas. They got a couple of goodies and pretty much just keeping it up.
Yeah, do you hate training through? I hate training through the holidays. I can't stand it.
Since I was a little kid, I give zero fucks about holidays. I'm not excited about Christmas or my birthday or I'm just as a
What do
father,
you want?
I make the kids happy. I
Right.
do the whole Santa Claus thing. I make them write the letter, but that's for them. On Christmas Day, I wrestle, I lift weights. On Christmas Eve, I
What is your
ran
business?
like probably 11 miles. I was just,
11 miles.
yeah. And that's because I already caught my 14 miles because I'm in camp. Out of camp, last week when I didn't have a fight, I ran 14 miles on Sunday.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing. Well done, buddy. What did you get the missus or the kids? Did you get them anything nice yesterday?
Aion has led you here.
The kids got they asked for clothes, shoes, Ellie couple toys, couple like Barbies and dolls, some shit like that. Nacho got just clothes and shoes. they don't really do much toys anymore these days. They want clothes. They want
Mhm.
and Ellie literally asked for the same shoes I have, so we match now.
Oh, nice.
Nice. What
Smith.
yeah, well I was thinking like how do you because I want to talk about the fight so damn bad, but what do you think about when you like look at fighting Corey Sandhagen? It seems like you kind of dealt with a bunch of funky ass styles. Like O'Malley's got a different style,
We meet
and
in Ariel's light.
Dominic Cruz is impossible to try to deal with or emulating training camp. You know what I mean? So then now you got another funky ass difficult style, or do you just look at them all the same?
Honestly, at least since I'm with Perillo, my best approach is like I don't worry too much about tall, small. You know, we do like for example, if I'm fighting a small compact guy, we spar a small compact guy, right? Now we're fighting a tall, lanky guy. We will bring into couple times a week a guy pretty much his size.
We meet in
But
Ariel's light.
the real approach that I learned from him, it's more like if I put up on layers in between fights, by the time I'm in camp, I'm like levels ahead that I was a fight before. So, you know, the guy can be tall or small. My jab is gonna be sharper. My right hand is gonna be stronger. You know, my body shots, my kicks, like I'm just a little better than I was for the Cruz fight. And yes, now I have to fight a big guy. You know, I just gotta be patient and find my range with him because at the end of the day, I can have all the sparring in the world. When you go and fight it and fight the guy and that guy's in front of you, doesn't matter how many tall guys you spar. This is a brand new tall guy that you gotta figure it out. So it's pretty much mental. I don't really worry about my opponent's size or what he does. I'm more worried about make sure I'm in shape, which I am, and just keep my mind right till February 18th.
Right. Hey, when you're
after, my mind can be a mess, but the 18th will be right.
well, you're obviously training all the time. You never take off any time at all. Do you take off of like do you back off of some of your broadcasting stuff and take a break from some of that when you're focused on a fight?
That's the only thing I change. The moment I sign a fight, I don't do commentary anymore.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter if I have a schedule like couple weeks and I sign a fight, I call the producer. I'm like, take me off. I'm not doing it. Not a chance.
Yeah, as you say, you know, you're always training, but you know, you're gonna have to up those miles. 14-mile runs, Cheeto. Come on, you gotta up those numbers, brother. I want you to be in shape. All jokes aside,
Yeah.
so with this guy, he's tall, he's long, he's rangy, he's a creative striker. I'm assuming it's be all the way in the pocket or all the way out, never in that middle range where he can catch you where you can't catch him. I'm assuming you're gonna sprinkle in some takedowns here and there, maybe, because you are a very, very good grappler with a lot of great submissions on your record. But after this fight, assuming that you go through Corey Sandhagen, you are declared the winner, whatever way it comes, you got to be thinking title fight next after that.
1,000%. And the guys that I have been beating is either former world champions or like top 5 guys. So, you know, probably for myself, I have a little longer road, but it is what it is. You know, it's life. Some people have an easier road, a shorter road. I have a longer road. So at the end of the day, life is hard for everybody. So, but I really believe with a solid win on this guy, I'm fighting for the belt, regardless. You know, all this hype thing. You know, who got more views, who got less views. Doesn't fucking matter. You go in there and you put the lights out, the views just come your way. So I'm just plugging away.
What do you think of the mess that's kind of going on at the top with Cejudo and O'Malley and Aljo and I mean, like, it seems so weird to me to see everybody kind of talking about O'Malley deserving to fight for the title, or is he going to fight for the title, when like doesn't seem like people mention the fact that you finished that guy. So
Yeah.
Do you think that'll insert you into that conversation and maybe change it a little bit?
I feel I'm in that conversation. Everything is a matter of, you know, they all start playing with dates and they all start holding position, and that's why when they called me for this fight, I was like, yeah, I take it. You know, is I don't see it as a negative thing. I don't see it as a going backwards thing. It's just another day in the office, putting more reps and just getting more experience. Like if I'm healthy, why sit down? Like there's a bag of money to go and grab, so why not? You know, keep advancing. And I'm beating legit guys. It's not like they're like building my career and shit like that. So the experience I have right now, you can buy that. You can get that. So you can only get it through walking the walk, and I'm getting calmer in there. I'm getting better in there. So, you know, well, all these guys just act like a bunch of cons. I'm just gonna keep getting better, and by the time I get to them, it's gonna be 9-9.
That's how you know that he's training with Perillo a lot and hanging out with him. When he starts using foul language like that, my word, Cheeto, we are a classy family show. Also, if I'm not mistaken, ESPN most improved fighter of the year. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's 100% thanks to Mr. Jason Perillo. Like I started working with him, my language get better, my technique got even better. So props to coach right there, because I have a long career, but this is the first time I get an award, if I'm not wrong. So
we gotta get Anthony Smith down there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I've talked to Perillo a couple times, and we always talk about, you know, hey, we gotta, you gotta get, gotta get you down here. Want to do some training. I thought it was gonna be a little weird there for a while with Rockhold being there too, and I didn't want to like cause any waves or anything. But now it seems like Rockhold and I we've kind of buried the hatchet and put that behind us. But I am curious though. I hear anyone that's trained with Perillo, I hear them say kind of the exact same thing about how good he is. What makes him so different? I'm genuinely curious.
I cutting all the bullshit, no hyping up nobody. It's just a mindset. He really cuts all the bullshit. Like all of these gyms have like a system and a little pedicure bullshit that you just buy time. You just make your guys sweat more. A guy like Perillo told you, you want to fucking sweat, go in the sun. Like sometimes we train for 30 minutes.
We meet in areas light.
The comparison I do is like eating like a high dense nutrient food versus junk food. I've been in other gyms. I've been in many gyms, and everybody does the same shit. They all run like idiots around. They warm up. They glove up. They do 1, 2, 3 back and forth for like 2 hours. You don't learn shit. You go with him, friend. All of a sudden you learn how to fight. And I give you props. I said this before, after my first main event. I would probably never get here if I don't have somebody like that just to give me the most important puzzle, and it's just get me better. I work hard. I make sure I'm healthy. I make sure I do my wrestling. I'm always making sure I do my part. But the captain type of part, like somebody tell you how to execute things, I just tell people that he just has different. He have the right mind, and he really doesn't make you do any bullshit at the gym. There's gyms in the past that I was doing things, I'm like, did I really doing this? Okay, whatever, let's keep doing. And then everybody's go. I was like, yeah, go. You go, motherfucker. He just tell you a small, detailed things. And
yeah. If I can jump in there, like if you were to watch, you'd be like, "There's nothing revolutionary here. There's nothing different or whatever." But it's a lot of it's on the mindset, the mental aspect. Of course, technically, he's going to improve your boxing, your striking, your awareness, your footwork, all these type of things. But he just really gets you dialed in mentally for a fight. Obviously, the training, the sparring, and all the rest of it, stuff that normal coaches can do, but he does it to a very high level. But this is, it made the biggest difference to me with the mind. But speaking of this, pointing at one of these ahead, we were just saying before you came on, should Anthony Smith get hair plugs? Because you can grow a lovely head of hair if you want
look
to.
At this.
I mean, look at me.
Oh my gosh,
Anthony's
it's not great.
He's gonna get hair plugs.
Me personally, if I get there, I just shave every 3 days like Joe Rogan or Dana.
I usually do. It's a little long now because of the holidays.
I'm not a fan of the putting back hair. Like I just feel it's weird. Like I'm like,
It is.
I'm like just let it go. Like for an example, I'm full covered on tattoos, right? The moment I'm fully done, I'm not gonna put shit on top of other shit. I'm using it's done. Let it go.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, that's a good question.
You know, if you wanna do it and if you feel you will look better, go for it. Fucking go for it. Cowboy did.
Yeah, see, the same people that did Cowboys reached out and they were like, look, they gave like a before and an after. So they took like a picture off my Instagram with me bald and then like photoshopped hair on me. It was fucking hilarious.
Was that before Cerrone was juiced up or after?
He's looking big.
He's looking jacked.
big. Hey,
He's
Cheeto, speaking of tattoos, the BYM page, the Twitter page, asked like, does anyone have any questions for Cheeto? And I kept getting notifications on my Twitter. Everyone wants to know if you got a new tattoo recently.
I finished my bag a couple weeks ago, but I didn't do nothing crazy. It was just like clouds and lights. So
well, I hope.
I did 3 sessions with Mr. Cartoon, and then the last session was just like details, just like make it look nice and square.
Nice.
Nice. New Year's Eve. What are the plans, Cheeto? Obviously, you're in training camp now. What is that? Probably
11
about
miles.
7 weeks. 7 weeks, something like that.
Pretty much. Yeah, like New Year's Eve, dinner with the family, couple, fireworks for the kids,
Oh,
and go to bed. Like,
so wholesome. I'm gonna be drinking heavily with Perillo, hopefully. So what we're saying is that Anthony Smith is gonna come down. You're gonna stay at my house. We're gonna do a bunch of BYM episodes in person live, and we're gonna go down train at Cheeto's gym with Perillo, and we'll get some work in, and maybe I'll get in shape.
That'd be sweet.
when is that happening?
I don't know. Anthony Smith, you tell me.
Michael Bismuth just planned it.
I think with Rocco in the gym and Anthony, they can push each other. They can beat the shit of each other.
What, am I fucking invisible, Cheeto? I can't do anything.
I think Rockhold and me would be really good training partners.
I honestly, okay. I don't want to be.
Am I fucking invisible?
Basically, you got 2 artificial knees, 1 artificial eye. Do you coach? Tell us what to do.
Bro.
I know
Number one, I whip your ass every time I'm down there, bro.
I know.
Okay? So don't give me this fucking coaching nonsense. Don't lay me out to pasture just yet. Okay? There's still life in this old dog, Cheeto. Get your fucking ass down here, Anthony. Bring the mouthpiece, your fucking 16-ounce gloves. We'll go to war, brother. Broken back or not, I'll take you all on. Mark my goddamn words, Cheeto bearer.
I'm not coming when you coming there.
Oh shit! What else is new, Cheeto? Anything before we let you go, buddy? We won't keep you too long.
Just family good, training hard, jumping in the ice bath every other day.
Ooh.
Every other day.
Every like 4 times a week I jump with that motherfucker for 5 minutes.
You see, Joe Rogan is doing that shit every single morning.
Yeah. Like if I wouldn't train the way, like the amount of things I do in the day, that's a great thing. Like for a guy like Joe, right? Which is a successful businessman, podcast, and he's not doing anything professional in a way like athlete was, because he used to be like a high level taekwondo guy. Doing that every day probably satisfies that. Because we used to do shit all day, every day. When we retire, you don't want to sit on the couch and watch TV. So jump in the ice will probably calm down your demons for the rest of the day.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one because my back, that will help with that majorly.
Hey, Bispin, I run 13 miles, right? I come back home, rehydrate, relax. I wait like an hour or 2 hours, and I jump in that thing. The next day, I'm not sore.
Yeah.
That thing is crazy.
Well, that's because you run all the time as well, so your body's used to it. But how long do you sit in the ice bath for?
Everything is a process, right? My first time, I last probably 2 seconds. But now, like, I get to 5 minutes easy. Like, I just jump.
It's only the first minute or two. After that, it actually starts to feel warm. in a weird way, doesn't it? The skin
Yeah,
starts.
because you just accept it. You just like, yeah, fuck it. It's a ball, but it's good for me.
Cheeto's got
I gotta get one of those like real super fancy ones. I bet Cheeto probably has.
Yo,
That's an invalid.
Really?
target.
yeah.
I gotta get one of those.
I have the. I can send the number of the owner to you too, and you guys talk to him.
Yeah, no, please do. Maybe we'll do a little
will.
Instagram. We'll do a little BYM video of it, and we'll get one for free. But I tell you what I want as well, Cheeto. Cheeto's got the sauna at the house. I'm trying to get a sauna, but the problem is they take months to deliver, and then you've got to get someone to put it together. But that's what I want, because I've got a hot tub at a pool, and I've got the gym in the garage. I'm going to get the sauna and the ice bath.
That's what I have here. It's great, man. I don't have to go to anywhere to do my sauna or ice, but do it here is one of the best investments I've probably ever did.
In terms of recovery, that helps me.
It's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's great.
All right, then. All right. Well, I guess we'll say goodbye, Cheeto. You've offended me. You know, all I'm good for these days is coaching. Okay?
Hey, let the guy that is fighting fight.
Oh, I'm going to. I'm going to set him on rock hold. I'll have a little bit. Last time me and Anthony Smith trained together, I tapped him out. Okay, so we're never going to roll again because
That's actually true.
So, I'm dining out.
Cheeto, I was like 20 years old. He forgets to put that part in.
When we move, he thinks we're the same weight and throw big punches. I'm like, yo, relax.
Tap you. I give you little taps, little love taps, bro.
You fucking throw at me.
Just quickly on this, Aljamain Sterling's talking about if he beats Henry Cejudo, he's going to go up to 145 pounds. What do you think of that?
I think he's too big for make the weight class. He's cutting that much weight is cheating to me. I'm like, you're kind of like a pussy if you cut that much weight because you want to be bigger and stronger. Because he really doesn't hurt nobody, but he makes you carry his weight, take you down. Like, I'm 155 pounds in or out of camp. I feel that's like a natural 135 pounder. And I'm still thinking I cut a shit lot of weight because 20 pounds is a lot. That motherfucker weighs like 170, 180 pounds when he's eating fucking God knows what. And yeah, you can make that weight. That's why he's being KO unconscious because the amount of weight he cut. I'm like, if you touch him, he might go down. So
I got two more quick questions I want to ask you about. Cejudo versus Aljamain. How do you see that going down?
I believe Cejudo got a little more speed and have a better striking base. I just think Sterling is just too big for him. Like, he's gonna shoot a shitty shot, but the strength is gonna make him go to him and make him carry his weight. Because even Cruz was able to get to Cejudo's legs. I'm like, you can be Olympic, whatever you are, but this is MMA. If I punch in the face, you're not this problem. So it's a different animal.
Yeah. And then, hold on, I went blank. I was listening to what you were saying. I had two questions. One, Cejudo versus
Sterling.
Aljamain Sterling. Oh, yeah. Sorry, last one. TJ Dillashaw. Do you believe he's retired, or do you think he's playing this trick, this game with coming out of the testing pool, take steroids, recover, and then come back in? What do you think's going on there?
Fuck, you know, if he comes back, it will be weird, right? Just because he tests positive already, and he says he's retiring for good. So, because it's crazy. The moment you retire, you're out of the pool. I'm like, at least test the guy for a year. I don't know, or anybody, right? But who knows? I really believe, even if USADA randomly tests you, they can only test you from 6 to 6. So, if you have money and a decent doctor, I believe people are still cheating until this day. I really believe that.
Me too.
I heard there's drugs you can take and literally overnight kind of like disappear. I'm like, you can go for vacation, you can go like USADA is effective, but I'm like, are USADA testing people in the fucking in a third world country or deep down in fucking, I don't know, Russia? I don't know. I live in fucking California. They come to my house all the time. But I would probably rather die than cheat. So that's just me, right?
Well, it's not just you, it's Anthony as well, and myself, and there's a certain... I don't think it's fair to say there's a lot of people that would cheat, but I think that the people that kind of have our mentality, I don't know, what do you two think? What percentage of people do you think have that? I would rather die than cheat. How many people? Anthony?
I think it's way less than the ones that are willing to take help to grow some muscles and look better and feel better. And again, it's not easy to wake up and do this amount of work. I actually crave for this. I love this. I'm a high energy person. Most people that do drugs, they can do 3-4 times a day practice and feel great. But also, there's people that every other month something is popping out. Oh, this hurt, this break. That, that's just weird, right? If I run this amount, spar on Monday, wrestle on Tuesday, and I'm not knocking on wood, but my body's not falling apart, it means because I'm natural.
Yeah, I had this conversation with Dominic Cruz in Vegas at the pay-per-view, and he had seen that I had brought up the stuff with Connor being out of the pool and then coming back and all that stuff, and he had like a really good question. He was like, are you mad at Connor for cheating, or are you mad because these other guys get a injury proof and heal faster than we do? Like, is it really the cheating thing, or are you mad because you don't get the same benefit?
Or because you didn't think of it? Is that kind of what he meant?
No, it's more like, are you mad because they're cheating, or are you mad because they're doing something that you're not allowed to do? And it was actually a really good question. Like, it came down to, it's because they're cheating and getting an advantage that I don't get to have. Like, it's not, I don't care about the muscles. I don't care about the weightlifting. I don't care about the punching power. I don't care about any of that shit. But being able to heal faster and not be out as long, and
that's a great advantage other people have.
Yeah, and being able to injury proof yourself where your ligaments are stronger, your joints are stronger, like that shit pisses me off.
If I file the USADA thing and I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna be on Big Bear on the weekend, and I give him the address of the exactly house, I can fucking go for a walk in the woods and they will never find me. So I'm like, this USADA thing really works? Maybe not. Because like, they have my home address, but if I'm training, they have to wait here until I come back. And I'm sure doctors can tell you, like, just make sure they don't test you in the next 3 hours and you will find.
Right.
So
they go hide out for 3 hours. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's possible for sure. And I think Cheeto's right. I think that there's a much smaller amount of people that are like us than we'd like to believe. You know what I mean?
I feel they should be testing anytime. They can come 2 in the morning, they can come 12 at night, because them,
that changed a lot.
You don't have that 6 to 6 gap. I'm like, before, if I have a headache and somebody gives me a Tylenol, I take a picture, send to Novisky, and I say, like, hey bro, yes or no? Good, go for it. Like, hey, I'm in the doctor, my elbow or my shoulder, whatever hurts, they want to do PRP. And I know that's legal. He says, PRP is fine. Don't do peptides. And I'm like, I have my conversation with him. I haven't deleted since like 2016. Because I don't fuck around, like anything. Even I know Thorn, we can do anything for Thorn, but besides that, I text him or call him for fucking anything.
I don't even take supplements because I'm too afraid of something being tainted.
I take 2 things for Thorn, and
I have taken the Thorn stuff. I guess I've done the Thorn stuff.
Yeah. So I was talking to my back doctor last week, and he said, in terms of supplements, he said, number one, the majority of stuff out there is garbage and doesn't help you at all. And then obviously some of it is tainted. And he said, Thorn, for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about here, is a brand of supplements. Apparently, number one, they're FDA approved. They're very, very, they do what they set out to say. There's a lot of them promise a lot of shit and don't do anything. Don't help you with recovery. But more importantly, you're not going to test positive on a test with Thorn products. We are going to let you go on this, Cheeto. We have a video question from a believer. I don't know what it is. Brian, would you like to come on and pose the question? Forget one of the best guests of the year, friend of the show, multiple. Cheeto never says no. He says straight away, big smile on the face, even though I don't pick up his phone calls. I ignore him. He gives me no credit, But Brian, are you there?
I am here. And And we got a question here from Abby Wagoneer.
Old Abby.
Hey BYM Pod, my name's Abby. You might know me better as the Fight Space One on Twitter. And me and my recording buddy Sebastian here have got a question for Cheeto, Michael, and Anthony. We want to know what the moment was for you that made you realize that MMA was your sport. For me, it was the first time that I ever sparred at my very first MMA gym. I got punched in the mouth during one of the rounds and cut my lip. And then my coach at the time walked into the cage with a paper towel, wiped the blood off my face, and without even blinking, told me, don't bleed on the mats. So what was that moment for you? I also have a question for Anthony. I wanted to find out if you had received the package that I sent for your Bits and Bobs request and what your reaction was to opening that up, because I have to imagine it was pretty funny.
All right, Cheeto, what was the big moment for you when you just thought to yourself, MMA, this is the one for me?
Okay, I was born a street fighter. I was on the Street Fight Weekly, right? And when I was like around 15 years old, I was on my friend's house and we were like finishing skateboarding and we just hanging out. And his brother was in the room just watching videos and it was loud and he was screaming. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? So we opened the door. He was watching highlights of Pride FC. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, are they real? Like, and we watched Pride FC highlights for a couple hours. And I told myself, fighting, the crowd, the blood. I was like, I want to be a fucking fighter. And that moment I told myself, I think I find my fucking job. I think I find my... Because the day before that, I was lost. I was just getting in trouble, doing everything that they told me not to do, I would do it. And that day I was like, where to go? And really that was the day I was like, I'm fighting. I'm going to be a fighter.
Nice. Beautiful. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. We'll let Anthony answer his question when you've gone. But Cheeto, I want to say you're a regular on the show. But more importantly than that, love you as a brother, as a friend. I love watching your career. Love seeing the improvements. And I look forward to seeing you take that belt this year. And then the response when you go back to Ecuador as champion of the fucking world. And there's a huge parade in the streets of Carabarara, whatever the capital is. I don't know. What's the capital of Ecuador?
Quito.
Quito! Brother, thank you very much. Hope you had a great Christmas with your family. Anthony Smith, any parting words for the great Cheeto Vera?
Yeah, man, I just look forward to watching you fight, man. I love myself. I love me a Cheeto Vera fight. So train your ass up, brother. We'll see you soon.
I will. Thank you guys.
See you soon.
Take care,
I'm going to come down there and whip your ass.
Oh, come on, Mike. You've been like...
Get out of here. Come on. Take care. There he is. What a guy. What a guy.
Love that guy.
Who was that? What was her name? Abby? Abby that asked the question? Abby. Mm-hmm. The Bits and Bobs. Did you get the Bits and Bobs from her?
So I got a bunch of them, like 5 or 6 at the same time. And then there's a whole nother group of packages I got to pick up. So I probably haven't opened hers yet.
Basically what you're saying is you're so popular and you just get sent so much stuff. You just haven't.
No, I've been out of town. So I got to.
No, I know.
I gave the address to the gym. So when I gave the address, it wasn't my house, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was the gym. So they're all in my coach's office. So I got to go pick up the last bunch.
Well, we look forward to seeing them on the walls. All right, let's talk about Shopify really quick. If you're a businessman, if you're an entrepreneur, if you have something that you sell, regardless of what it is, and you're not online, if you don't have an e-commerce function, if you're not selling to everyone on the planet via the beauty of the internet, well, then you're missing a trick and you're not maximizing your potential as a salesman, as a business, as an entrepreneur. But to be fair to a lot of people, getting online sounds expensive, sounds time consuming and very, very complicated. You know, you got to hire a website designer. You got to have lots of meetings. You got to facilitate an e-commerce site. You got to speak to the bank about receiving payment methods. Well, Shopify takes care of everything for you. By the way, it also has 24/7 customer support. Free on-demand business courses are also available. It instantly lets you accept all major payment methods, so that's a big one. And as I say, it's very cheap, cost-effective, and before you know it, you are online selling to everyone in this country or potentially in the world. So as I say, you know, if you're not doing this, What are you doing? Get a hold of yourself. Once your store is live, Shopify makes getting paid simple, as I say, by accepting every single type of payment. Shopify grows with your business anywhere thanks to the endless list of integrations and third-party apps, stuff like, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. Literally everything you can think of, from on-demand printing to accounting to chatbots, everything that you need to customize your business to your needs, it's already there. It's available to you with Shopify, and you can try it out for free. Yes, a free trial. All you're going to do, go to shopify.com/believe. You can start selling to your customers online today. You get a 2-week free trial by going to shopify.com/believe. 2-week free trial. Sell to the world, make some more money. Check it out, shopify.com/believe. All right, I'm looking at the notes here. Harrington, if there's one that you feel that jumps off the page, but number 4, Hamzat Chimaev, he says he can't find a fight. He says that the UFC have offered him 4 different opponents, but no one will sign on the dotted line to face him. He also doubled down on wanting to fight Alex Pereira, pointing out that someone who's not even UFC caliber has beaten Poatan, while Hamzat has never lost in his life. So he's talking shit about Pereira. So what, he got beat in, I think it was his UFC debut. A lot of people have made that mistake.
His MMA debut.
In his MMA debut, sorry, pardon me. But Hamzat said he's had 4 opponents offered. Haven't you any idea who those 4 opponents were? But what do you think of that, Anthony?
Listen, Hamzat's in a weird spot right now. This is the shitty part that no one tells you about when you start getting into the top 5 of a division. If you're trying to fight for a title, that only leaves you a couple guys that you're able to kind of fight. It just leaves you in a weird spot because you don't want to fight too far down. None of those guys, like, it was easy. I don't know who's at 10 or 11 or 12 or whatever, but even if they offered one of those guys, like, it's not necessarily fair when they're trying to climb their way up to the rankings. There's a process that you're supposed to go through. You slowly climb your way up the rankings. But if they got a guy like Hamzat that's doesn't have an opponent, or people that are in the top 5 don't want to fight him, or they're booked, sometimes they'll start offering further down. You can't expect some of those guys to take a fight with him. Like, it's going to derail their own process. If they're trying to slowly, stair step their way to the top 5 or towards the title, you can't give like number 10 or 11, number 2, who's good enough to be the champion of the world. Like, I understand his frustration, but that's kind of that's what happens when you have a couple fights and then you beat a number 2 guy in the world. Now you're the guy that people are avoiding. You just essentially, I don't remember where he was ranked when he fought Gilbert, but again, let's just pretend it's 10. He jumped 10-2 or 12-2 or whatever it was. You just skipped over potentially 7 fights that would have taken you to get there typically. So now you're kind of in this holding pattern.
Playing devil's advocate though, or devil's avocado. So what he did there, he went from 10, 2 or 3, whatever it was. He's given the opportunity, if it is some lower ranked people, and when I say lower ranked, you're still highly ranked if you're ranked in 5 to 10. But he's given them that same opportunity to jump over some other people, and we should be looking for the right fights. But the question that I've got, when I say right fights, I mean, yeah, you do want to fight logical fights. There's no point saying I want to fight this guy if you're not ready for it. You get your ass kicked, you lose a ranking, you fall down in the court of public opinion, and it affects the trajectory of your career. That's why you need a good manager. But as I say, the question that I'm interested in is that I thought it was all but a done deal with Colby Covington. Hamzat versus Colby in London as the co-main event between a potential fight of Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman, right? Of course, there's still this, is the hand damaged or not? Is he having surgery? Ali Abdelaziz says that Kamaru isn't having hand surgery. That was a few weeks ago. But I still haven't seen an announcement of that fight. It's getting close. March 18th is the date. It hasn't been announced yet. But I would have thought Colby versus Hamzat as the co-main event. Number 1, a ridiculous fight card. Talk about a great main and co-main. Also, someone gets injured in the main. There's someone there in the co-main to step up. And we've seen the UFC do have they've kind of started somewhat a tradition of doing that where they can. Like, look at what just happened at 282. Perfect opportunity. Who was it? Yuri got injured. The co-main event became the main event. So that was a very, very smart bit of matchmaking to have them on the same card. But, Who do you think these people were that he's saying 4 opponents? I mean, if Colby's not happy,
Colby for sure.
he's got to be one of them, which I can't
gotta
understand him turning that down.
Then who else is in the rankings? That would be
Not Gilbert. Harrington, if you have anything to add, jump in here.
Yeah, let me jump and look at these rankings really quick because there's not that
Wonderboy's
many
out.
people. I think Wonderboy doesn't. That wouldn't really make any sense because he's injured.
No, I know. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
I said he's injured. He's having hand surgery, I think. as well.
Bilal, but Bilal's been calling for that fight for a long time.
See, Bilal, that stylistically, Bilal and Hamzat would be a great fight.
It
And
makes a lot of sense.
Bilal wants that fight that's going to get him and earn him that title fight. Now,
They need
granted,
to offer that shit to Shavkat Rakhmonov. That's
That
who
is
they
the
gotta offer
fight.
that goddamn fight to.
I mean,
That's
Shavkat
who needs it.
Rakhmonov is also undefeated. What is he ranked at now? Shavkat,
10.
just go down.
Looks like he's
There
at
he
10.
is. And where's Hamzat? He's number 1. I mean, Bilal Muhammad would make a lot of sense. I mean, he's
No,
a massive.
Hamzat's 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Bilal
that
done
just
a
seems hard to.
massive-
It seems hard to believe. Could you pull that back up, Brian? I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I would just finish that point on Bilal. He's on a massive
ahead.
win streak. He deserves a title fight,
Yeah.
but he needs that big breakout performance over somebody like a Hamzat Chimaev. Once you beat a Hamzat, you cannot deny the man. Listen, great win over Sean Brady, of course it was. But again, he's not one of the superstars of the division. Sorry, Anthony, you were going to say something.
No. I was just looking as you go down it. Usman, obviously, he's trying to fight for the title. Colby, that's probably one of them.
Yep.
Bilal, I don't see him turning that down. Gilbert
I
Burns, I don't see that turning it down. Stephen Thompson's injured. Jeff Neal has a fight. Sean Brady's probably too far down.
Rakhmonov, though. I mean,
Rakhmonov, come
you've got
on.
the Shavkat versus the Hamzat. It's the battle of the undefeated. I think Shavkat's something like 15 or 16-0.
That dude's good. He's so good.
He's
That's
a
my
dark horse.
hot take. That's my hot take of the day. That someday we're gonna see a trilogy fight for the title between Rakhmonov and Chimaev.
All right. New segment alert. Well, not new segment, but I'm just gonna go. It's gonna go off. We're doing this. It's not in the notes. It's not discussed. Bring up the rankings again, please, Brian. We'll do this time next year, Anthony, and we'll all get a choice. We'll all do this. We'll all make a pick. The champion of each division this time next year. And if you're watching at home, we want you to play along as well. And
Yeah.
we'll hold us all accountable to this. So we'll start off with Davison, the flyweight champion this time next year. Who's it gonna be? I'll lead the dance, and I'm gonna say Davison Figueiredo.
I think it'd be Moreno.
All right, Brian and Harrington.
I'm gonna say Manel Cape.
Oh,
Ooh.
hot take.
He's
Right on.
he's good though. He is
And
good.
He's got a top 6 fight coming up that puts him right within striking distance. Think people are going to be done with Figueiredo versus Moreno.
Hold on.
El Bazi's pretty good too.
Harrington, I will say this. We have a lot of weight classes to get through. We just need a pick. We need a concise little sentence or two on the reason why. Then we got to move on. Otherwise, it's going to be a 7-hour-long podcast. We've got women's weight divisions. We've got is there a 145-pound weight class there or not? Lots of weight classes. You've said your pick. Now shut up. Bantamweight, my pick.
Wait,
Oh,
I still
right.
think we have a couple years left of Moreno, David's. Yeah,
Yeah. You
I
gotta
think we
see
have a couple of years left of that.
7 more fights. But Brian, did you make a pick?
Brian, did you make one?
I think it's gonna be Brandon Moreno or Davidson Figueiredo. It's gonna be one of those dudes for the next 4
You
years.
just need one name. One name.
Let's go with Moreno next year.
Jesus Christ, that was like pulling teeth.
I'm sorry.
Right, bantamweight division. I'm just going to start it off. Cheeto Vera. This time next year, Cheeto rules the roost. What say you, Harrington at the top? We're going to go down the list. Quick.
This time next year, I'm going to say Sean O'Malley, 2024 Cheeto.
All right, I'm going to tell Cheeto that you said that. Brian, who do you say?
Yeah, probably Sean O'Malley. I think they're gonna push him.
Just had Cheeto on the show, guys.
Honestly, this isn't just saying this because Cheeto's on the show. I truly believe if you look at everyone above Cheeto, I would pick Cheeto over every single one of those guys.
Yeah.
I think it's Cheeto.
I think
But
Cheeto beats everybody.
No, you don't. You just said that this time next year it's O'Malley. Whatever. Moving up to 45. I mean, I think
We
it's
all
still
know-
Vol- I think
we
it's
all
still
know the answer.
Volkanovski. It's Volkanovski, I think.
We know the answer.
It's Volkanovski, I think.
We know the answer.
Are we all agreed on Volkanovski there?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to say he vacates, doesn't come back down to 45. Arnold Allen is the new champion of 145.
Oh, interesting take, Hamilton. I like that. That's good. That's good. All right. Islam Makhachev at lightweight, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, fighting Volkanovski. This time next year, I mean, when you look at the list of people who beat Oliveira, I think he'd probably take care of Poirier a similar way to the way Khabib did. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Islam.
I think Volk has both belts at the end of next year.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
There's a chance, you know. There's a chance.
I'm gonna be honest though. I have a lot of belief in Beneil.
Move closer to your target.
I think if Volkanovski beats Makhachev, I think Beneil beats Volkanovski.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna
That's
say
good.
Volkanovski. Or no, I'm gonna say Beneil Dariush. Sorry.
Beneil Dariush getting some love. I like that. Harrington, did you make a pick?
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Volkanovski.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got simply because last time I said that one of Khabib's camp. Last time I said Oliveira might beat Islam. My God. I got. So if I said that Volkanovski beats him, which he has a very good chance of doing, you know, let's be honest, that's a tough fight for both men. But still, I'll stay with. Islam. All right. This is a tricky one. Welterweight. What do we think? Anthony Smith, you start.
I'm gonna say Hamzat. I do. I think that he probably has to fight one more time, and I don't think it matters, unless. Well, yeah, it's because it's a rubber match. If it's Usman Edwards, no matter who the winner is, that's the end of the rubber match. So, and I think Hamzat beats. Short of Colby, I don't think anyone gives him too many problems.
And as much as I'm going to get shit from the UK massive for saying this, I agree with you. I agree. I think Hamzat is the champion in waiting once he gets his shot. Obviously, the big thing for him is making weight, you know, but he has done that many times. He's only missed weight once, to be fair, you know, and everyone's allowed a little faux pas, shall we say. Yeah, I think Hamzat, I mean, even if Kamaru was to beat Leon, I think Hamzat would beat Leon because I don't know, actually. That's a tricky one.
I think the one caveat there is Kamaru. He's a pretty goddamn good wrestler. He's pretty damn big too. He could, I don't know, but even if they're stuck striking, like Hamzat's pretty damn good on his feet.
What a fight, though. Kamaru Usman versus Hamzat Chimaev.
And I don't think that, I want to be clear here because I don't want everyone in the UK to get mad. I don't think that Kamaru is a better striker than Leon. I think Leon is probably the best pure striker other than Stephen Thompson in the division. I think that because the wrestling would be, I think that Kamaru can neutralize the wrestling and grappling of Hamzat probably better than anybody else, like him and Colby. Him and Colby both can neutralize his wrestling a little bit, but Kamaru's a more powerful striker than Colby is, so he creates more danger on his feet. I think that's why that fight is interesting.
But here is an interesting one, and there is a lot of debate here at welterweight. And Brandon Harrington, please be ready in just a second. If I'm not mistaken, we haven't seen Hamzat go 5 rounds, and that is the one thing that makes the fight with Colby questionable. The one thing with Kamaru makes it questionable. And also, to be fair, we got to give credit to the champ, Leon Edwards, you know, gets the knockout in round 5. He's always dangerous, you know. And we're talking about Kamaru versus Hamzat because I would like to see the clash of wrestling. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. I'm not discrediting Leon. It's
not
the wrestling I want to see kind of butt up against each other and see what happens.
Could Hamzat beat Kamaru in a 5-round fight? Harrington and Brian, what do you guys think?
And I'm skipping, you know, you guys are tinfoil in a microwave right now, but I would say Colby Covington ends the year as the champion. Colby Covington can get a win against Hamzat Chimaev. Again, grind it out. I think if Gilbert Burns had another 3 minutes in his fight that he could have gotten the win against Hamzat, Colby would, I think, have taken the deep waters. And then, you know, if Leon gets past Usman, which is totally possible because we've seen it now, I think that Colby's an even bigger wrestling threat and could pose problems for Leon in a 5-round fight.
I think it all really just depends on what Kamaru looks like when he comes back. if he gets a little chinny or not. Because if he just comes back solid as a rock, I think he has the belt again at the end of next year.
So hold on, who does? Sorry,
I think Kamaru Usman, if he comes back not chinny from getting knocked out, I think he has the belt.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Leon. I'm gonna say Leon just because gotta give him some love here. And
I mean, it's possible. I mean, he could be. To be fair, he could beat Usman again in March, and then not fight again until February. Like, who knows? He might hold on to it and just hang out. Like, who knows?
All right. This is going to be a longer one, I think, but because the middleweight division, you know, obviously Pereira, and he's probably going to fight Adesanya again. But let's be honest, Adesanya is the perfect matchup. 2 kickboxers. A lot of the people there, certainly a Robert Whittaker, a Derek Brunson, you know, the grapplers essentially are going to give him problems. Anthony, who do you say? Who do you say is champ next year?
No doubt in my mind.
Bastard.
No doubt in my mind. It is Robert Whittaker. I truly believe that. Listen, people roast me all the time for saying this. Robert Whittaker is the best middleweight on the planet.
True.
Across all organizations, he is the best. Israel Adesanya is just a terrible matchup for him stylistically. As far as his skills and abilities, he's far and above anybody else in the division. He just has such a tough time with Izzy, and Izzy is just more effective in their competitions. But I still think there's an argument that if there was different judges sitting in that cage side in their last fight, Robert Whittaker could have won that fight. So it's close. I think Robert Whittaker smokes Pereira. He's already beat Cannonier. He beat Vettori. He beat Brunson. I think he does Paulo Costa. Strickland, Delize. It's Robert Whittaker, in my opinion. He's the best middleweight in the world.
I'm with you right there. And the part of that happening is, this is what would have to happen. Pereira beats Adesanya in their rematch. That opens the door for a Pereira versus Whittaker, because he is next in line for a shot. That's without question. And I think he out-grapples him, takes him down, probably gets a submission or a ground and pound finish. I'm with you. Whittaker. Boys?
I say somebody is going to jump the line on Robert Whittaker, right? Israel Adesanya, Pereira, they have their rematch. I think Pereira does win that. I think that's where Hamzat does actually get the fight against Pereira once he isn't matched up against anyone. And I see Hamzat winning that fight for sure.
Hot take. Read all about it. Beep, 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 beep. News just in. Harrington says, no, but that's actually really smart because he's calling for that fight. That's a good choice, Harrington. Brian?
That was good.
Oh, shit. Now that he just said that, Hamzat might be the champion next year.
Oh, God. Hamzat's taking all the belts.
If I'm Hamzat, though, that's what I would do. I would go to middleweight in a heartbeat. I mean, stylistically, he's goddamn huge. He matches up well with Izzy. He matches up well with Whittaker, Cannonier, all those guys.
Also, any perceived cardio issues that he has will be helped by going to 185 and not having those drastic cuts. Right, listen, light heavyweight, this has been a hot potato, been passed around all over the place. It's currently, who's the champ? Oh, there is no champ, it's vacant.
Yeah.
It's vacant. So, we've got Glover versus, Jamal Hill going down. Yuri's going to come back. There's one guy called Anthony Smith in the mix. I mean, we'll end on there's one guy called Anthony Smith in the mix. I mean, we'll end on you, Anthony, because it's a tricky one for you.
Okay.
No. Brian, who do you think? Champ next year.
I'm putting the good vibes out there. I think Anthony has a good chance of getting a fight that gets him a championship fight, and then, there's nobody you can't beat. You know what I mean? So
the crowd goes wild in applause. The people in the YouTube comment section now are going crazy. I mean, if you look at this,
called just a suck up.
Yeah, potentially, and probably accurately so.
Whatever.
I guess it all depends. Listen, I think for Glover and for Jamal, it's a really tough fight stylistically. Jamal could connect and get that big knockout like he has done. Glover could get the takedown and expose his experience and his advantage in the grappling department and maybe win like that. but Glover's getting on. You know, I don't think either of those guys will hold on to it for too long. This time next year, Yuri Prohaska probably comes back. In the meantime, Anthony comes back. He fucking makes a win. He gets a fucking victory. He comes in. He fights for the belt. Anthony Lionheart Smith will become the second world UFC champion as a co-host or a host of the Believe You Me podcast. That's what we do here. We breed goddamn champions. Anthony Smith will be the champion this time next year. Anthony, what say you, brother? What say you?
Whoa, hold on. I want to hear Harrington's tin hat first.
Yeah, Harrington.
Is Hamzat going to come to 205 too?
Yeah.
That's the real word. That's the real word. No, Volkanovski gets back to rugby weight. And no. I mean, realistically, Jamal came on here and said it. You deserve the title shot after he goes and beats Glover Teixeira. So in my mind, you're already getting that title fight somewhere around International Fight Week, if I had to guess. And at that point, yeah, sure, take the next half of the year off as champion of the world.
See,
Anthony
it's not
Smith.
suck up, man.
Yeah, this is just how it works.
Honestly, guys, this is going to make it sound like I'm just making some shit up, but I think Jamal, I just have this feeling that Jamal does beat Glover. And I don't think they're looking at matching me up in March, but I don't think I'm going to fight again. I really don't. I think that I'll go to Brazil, be the backup. I think Jamal Hill beats Glover Teixeira. Yuri Prohaska's out. Magomed Ankalaev is out. Jan Blachowicz is seemingly coming off a loss as far as the UFC is concerned. Alexander Rakic is injured. I think Anthony Smith versus Jamal Hill for the 205 title sometime in the summer, and I am the year's champion.
I mean, come on. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, talk about, all right, granted, I'm sure you were very annoyed. I mean, we talked about it. You were shocked. It was a shock for everyone. But...
Oh, wait, speaking of Jamal Hill, I go there on Thursday.
Oh, to go train?
I fly out there on Thursday. I was supposed to go tomorrow, but I double booked myself in my schedule, so I'm excited to get out there with him and honestly, this is going to sound crazy. I'm excited to help him. I love coaching, and I love coaching at like the highest level. So I'm like, I have all this like experience and knowledge like we talked about last week, and I'm just excited to help him out.
No, that's beautiful. And we can't wait to hear all about it. Getting back to the game, Francis Ngannou. No. It's just that we're on little mini versions of it, and there's people on the screen. Francis Ngannou, who will be the champion? I'm gonna get John Jones. That's my pick.
Curtis Blades. No, wait, there's Tom though, but he's coming off a loss. He's gonna have to get a win first, and then he doesn't have enough time. I think it's Curtis Blades.
Yeah, Tom said he's not fighting. He's not planning on fighting at UFC London in March. It's a little bit too soon. So yeah, probably have to get 2 wins. So that'll take him into the next year, because we're Team Tom all the way, of course. But
for sure,
yeah, I think John Jones comes back. And maybe gets knocked the fuck out of Francis Ngannou, let's be honest. But there's a good chance he becomes champion as well. I'll say that for a hot take, boys.
I think Cyril Gane is going to be the champion at the end of the next year. I think he just got surprised by Francis Ngannou's just like wrestling ability that just came out of nowhere, apparently, and I don't think he's going to get taken advantage of the way he did if they fight again next year. I think he's a better striker I think he's probably the best striker at heavyweight at the moment, and
definitely agree with that.
And that's Francis Ngannou's bread and butter. So if you can just piece, like we saw Stipe do at the first fight, you know, just that, I think Cyril Gane has that exact game plan to a victory.
I got one name and one name only. Dude, the title's coming back to Russia with Sergey Pavlovich. That dude is a monster. It's a monster.
That's true. He fucking terrified me in that last fight.
No, you're absolutely right. So this is interesting. Oh, do we have 4 different picks? I've got John. You've got Sergey Harrington. Brian has Cyril. Who was yours, Anthony?
Curtis Blades.
Curtis Blades. That's interesting. We've all got a different pick.
Yeah.
Hotly contested at heavyweight. All right, now we get into the female bantamweight division.
No, that's pound for pound.
Yeah, it's pound for pound.
Pound. We'll start with Zhang Weili, as she's the current champion, and I say this time next year, she's still the champ.
Totally agree. I think it's Zhang Weili.
I mean, Rose. I always like a Rose fight. She could definitely make a way to a championship fight this year.
That's your pick. All right,
Yep.
two Zhangs, 1 Rose. Harrington, Zhang, Rose. Are you going to come with a Limoges?
Or is Hamzat coming to?
Yeah. Hamzat's growing a wig. Okay, he's putting a wig on and putting a dress, a bit of lipstick.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry, Harrington.
No, I'm gonna take Rose, but again, we'll get to it in flyweight. Why?
Okay, so what we've got here is the producers versus the talent. Okay, the talent say Zhang, the producers say Rose.
Oh, last time this happened, I think I want some money.
Oh, good. Flyweight, Shevchenko all day. Don't see anyone. I mean, Manon Fiorot has an ability. She's going to be, I think, give Shevchenko one of her toughest fights. In fact, Talia Santos gave her a tough fight. I thought at the time, I haven't rewatched it, Santos actually beat Shevchenko back in Singapore. But still, Shevchenko, I mean, everyone's day does come. You can't stay on top forever. And it has been quite some time now. But I still think she's got one more year, or maybe even longer. But certainly 2023 will end with her still on top.
Man, I'm going Tyler Santos, man. I watched the fight regular. I watched it in slow motion. I watched it backwards. I stood on my head and watched it upside down, and she lost that damn fight.
That's some weird viewing you got going on there, Anthony.
No, all bullshit aside.
Try watching it with one eye. See that's
that's what the problem is. I need to start as one eye in it. No, I do. I think Santos is. Who knows? Maybe Shevchenko comes back and they rematch and she fixes all the things she had problems with. But you know what? I just talked myself out of it. Probably Shevchenko.
I mean, they make Marvel movies about her.
Yeah.
She's absolutely going to be the champion until she decides she doesn't want to fight anymore.
So the reason why I think Rose Namajunas will be the champion of strawweight, similar to the Volkanovski thing, it's because Zhang Weili is gonna go up and challenge Valentina. I mean, they've talked about it. They both talked about this fight being on the horizon for both of them. They're both looking forward to it, and I think Zhang gets that done.